I just wanted to do what my dad did. I never really had any particular desire to do anything else. My dad had died just as I had completed my first semester and was going into my second. My mother was holding everything together for our part of the business during the time I was in college. And so I was ready to come to work. I was 20 years old. When I got out here, she said, well, I want you to run the production. So immediately some of the older guys who were running things in the production, they left because they wasn't going to work for a 20-year-old. And I didn't know what my dad had planned, so all I did was I just went in his file cabinet and read every piece of correspondence he'd ever written or received that I could find. And so we just went from there. And my mother had a lot of confidence in me. She subsequently bought out the other half of the company that she didn't own. We grew and grew and grew over the years. My mother passed away. My dad died in February of '53. He was 52 years old. He'd been in the business for 8 years. My mother lived a long time. She died in 2003. And she was 93 years old. It got down to the point where my brother, my sister, and I each owned a third of the business. They wanted to sell out of the business, and in 1998, the business sold. There was part of the business that the buying company did not want, and I bought that half of the business, or the part of the business that they didn't want. I was able to keep the name that my dad had started with, and the logo that he had drawn up, and so that meant a lot to me. I'm very optimistic about the future. I feel just as optimistic, I think, as I did when I was 20 years old. And I love the business. I've always loved it. It hadn't been easy at times. It's been tough. We've gone through our tough times, but we've been able to persevere, and so I'm happy with the business. I've always loved the business, and I don't really want to do anything else. Don't ever plan to retire. I'm sure I'll be forced to one of these days, but I'm going to prolong it as long as I'm running late. I've always been late to about everything, every meeting anyway, so I want to be late to that final meeting as late as I can be. So. Well, this tree behind me, we had a lady in business that came out here and trimmed our trees up about 15, 18 years ago, and the tree behind me, she wanted to do some severe cutting on that because, and I think they did probably remove some of it that was threatening the office too bad, but basically I had them leave it intact. And that tree has just gotten more and more beautiful all the time, and of all the things, I love nature, and I love these old live oak trees.